My name's Adam Franklin and I'm here to tell you a little bit about my class at the Wolverhampton Euro Blues Weekend. That's this year, November the 4th to the 6th, and I'll be taking the slide guitar class. One of the things we'll be looking at over the weekend is how to get a good slide sound and the 3 important notes to play when you're playing solos and fills. But we'll also be looking at some songs, so I wanted to go through a few of the things that we'll be looking at over the weekend. And Rolling and Tumbling Blues, which I just played a small portion of, that's one of the things we'll look at. So we'll look at the different versions. So you've got the original Roll and Tumble Blues by Hambone Willie Newburn, right up to, many people have recorded it, right up into the 50s with Muddy Waters and beyond. And we'll look at the different ways people play the same chord sequence and the different licks they get. Robert Johnson did a great version in the late 30s, and his was called Travelling Riverside Blues, so we'll look at some of the licks from the Robert Johnson version. Another thing I'd like to do is look at a different tuning, but just before I do that, one thing I always like to go through is just standard picking in open tunings. It's always really useful. And Spanish tuning, which I'm in now, that's really useful for jamming and backing singers and harmonica players, or staying in the background. It's a really good one. So it's used to really good effect by Memphis Mini, for instance. That's that kind of What's the Matter with the Mill, When the Levee Breaks. So we'll be looking at playing some stuff like that, and also some more Chicago style blues, but in just without the slide, and then we'll look at how to put the slide in. The other thing I'd like to do is some Tampa Red. I've got to get into another tuning for that one. Some Tampa Red style, so we won't look at one particular song, we'll look at his style in general, and he gets a really nice sound. He was the beginning of that Chicago slide sound. He was the king of Chicago before there was a king of Chicago. So that real kind of classic slow blues of Tampa Red, that's another thing we'll look at. And also I thought we could go through a few real standards. Amazing Grace, a really nice version of Amazing Grace, which you may have heard of on a Rod Stewart LP. It was actually played, the guitar was actually played by a great musician called Sam Mitchell. And I'm sure you're going to hear a lot about him over the weekend. But that's a really nice version of... It's a really nice version to play. That's by Sam Mitchell. And also in a very different tuning, I'm not going to go into it now because I don't want to go on for too long, but in a very different tuning, there's a nice arrangement of St. James Infirmary, and that's something I thought we could go up in a minor tuning. So I hope to see you there. It's the Euro Blues Weekend in Wantage, and that is November the 4th to the 6th. I hope to see you there.